We're on the upper floor of the Virginia Quilt Museum in the hallway. This exhibit is curated by Katherine Johnson, When West Virginia Was Virginia. Katherine Johnson enjoys all aspects of quilting, but in recent years has focused on quilt collection, study, and appraisal. Her collection has grown to over 300 quilts. She is always ready to share, examine, and discuss quilts. Katherine supports the West Virginia Quilt Documentation Project. Members of the West Virginia Quilt Documentation Project, team of the West Virginia Quilters, all help in the early planning stages of the exhibit. Fran Kordek, Roberta Gellner, Jill Wilson, and Kathy Johnson. When West Virginia was Virginia. As the Civil War approached, Virginia included both present-day Virginia and West Virginia. The state was dominated by politics and economics of southern region, where plantations and slavery were common. The northern and western portions of the state was rugged and geographically isolated. Slavery was much less common. Virginia struggled with the question of secession, and after the capture of Fort Sumter, decided to secede. 50 counties of northern and western Virginia formed a unionist government in Wheeling. Congress passed an act creating the state of West Virginia. West Virginia was the only state formed due to the internal differences during the Civil War. The Virginia Quilt Museum has a mission of celebrating and nurturing Virginia's quilting heritage, and so the collection includes several quilts made in what is now West Virginia, but prior to the Civil War was part of Virginia. While West Virginia was formed because of its decision to remain in the Union, not all individuals agreed. The exhibit includes quilts with histories tied to the Civil War that show personal loyalty decisions. This first one is Peace Star, Ohio Star. Circa 1860, it measures 84 inches by 72 inches. Created by Melinda Jane Still Flint, Eagle Branch, Greenbrier County, Virginia/West Virginia. This quilt features a yellow vertical zigzag sashing and white and red star blocks. Though a citizen of the newly formed Union State of West Virginia, Matilda's husband, Ezekiel Flint, enlisted in the Confederate Army on June 1st, 1863. He was captured by Union forces on June 3rd, 1864, at Cold Harbor, Virginia. He died a prisoner at Elmira, New York, on September 12, 1864. Matilda was left to raise 3 children. She was said to possess a sweetness of temper, and her acts of kindness to her friends and her devotion to her family was constant and sincere. This is a gift of Eileen R. Blessing in 2008. Next, we have a woven cover, circa 1850, 90 inches by 103 inches. Cullen Porter, Jefferson County, Virginia, West Virginia. Joseph Jacquard, a French weaver, invented the Jacquard loom, which used a series of punch cards to activate the loom harness and create the pattern. Jacquard looms and pattern cards were available in the Americas starting in 1820 and used through the Civil War era. The center of this double weave jacquard coverlet features the maker's signature design of a double lily and sunburst. Double lily. The border has pairs of gracefully backward-facing birds and roses. The maker's signature block is repeated in each corner and reads C.C. Porter, Porter Factory, Jefferson, Virginia. The coverlet has a fringed edge. All the elements are typical of jacquard coverlets in the mid-19th century. This is a gift of Martha Ludwig Roberts, 2011. The next piece is Eagles of Peace. This is circa 1870 and measures 88 inches by 99 inches. The quilt maker is Hannah Kelly Guthrie, Preston County, West Virginia. Hannah Guthrie was the oldest of 12 children born and lived in Kelly's Knob, Preston County. She married Joseph Guthrie, and the couple had 6 children. The family belonged to the Church of the Brethren. The Brethren believed in peace and reconciliation and supported those choosing not to fight in the war. Eagles of Peace is a 4-block quilt in red, green, and gold. The eagle was a popular 19th century motif. The eagle's talons nearly always clutched war arrows and sometimes an olive branch apiece. Hannah's eagles hold 2 simplified olive branches. Was Hannah conveying a wish for American unity, reconciliation, and peace? Gift of Terry and Vicki Stahlbaugh, 2016. Irish chain. This quilt is circa 1863, measures 84 inches by 80 inches. The quilt maker is Helen Mary Robinson, Harrison County, Virginia, West Virginia. By family tradition, this quilt was made by the donor's great aunt in 1863. Genealogical detective work led to the conclusion that the quilt was made by Helen Mary Robinson as a young woman of 24 living in Clarksburg, Harrison County, West Virginia. At least one member of Helen's extended family served in the Confederate Army. Clearly not all West Virginians agreed with the decision to remain in the Union. The vibrant Irish chain is hand-pieced with an applique border of undulating floral vines. Whimsical birds perch on the border's vine. Gift of Francis H. Exline, 2007. Framed medallion. This quilt is circa 1840, measures 88 inches by 99 inches. Quilt maker is unknown. From Jefferson County, Virginia, West Virginia. This quilt was acquired by Lucy Catherine Bowie at the estate auction of Evelyn Gwynn in Jefferson County, Virginia, West Virginia, in the 1940s. This medallion-style quilt features 11-piece borders surrounding a central star. The quilt style is reminiscent of earlier medallion quilts popular in Virginia's coastal region. The final zigzag border and relative fence row setting is still popular today. Lucy Catherine Bowie was a quilt maker and collector born in Culpeper, Virginia in 1914. Following an exhibit of her quilts at the Virginia Quilt Museum, 13 were offered for museum purchase. Within 2 weeks, friends of the museum had made the necessary donations and the museum acquired the Bowie collection. Gift of Robert E. Lee Chapter, number 60, Questers, 1998.